welcome to another episode of Most Man. How y'all doing out there? Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia, themostmen.com, info at themostmen.com, or join themensclub.com. Another website. Come on over to Rumble. They're not censoring anybody on Rumble. You can have a lot more fun over there. A little bit more freedom. We like freedom. All right, so today we are back, and this is some of the new Most Man merch. This is what's going in the kit. It is the tumbler, the man card, the koozie, the pin. Here's your pin. If I can do this without fucking it up. It comes in this box. Video turn. Joined the men's club. Open it up. Join the men's club. And hello. Joined. Fucking it up. Join the men's club. All right, so that's the box.
In the battery pack.
No, the battery pack's not going in.
Oh.
We're going to see if that sells first, because that's expensive. But it's all high quality shit. These are the new koozies. Got the red stitching on the side. QR code on the bottom. So we're starting to get our shit together around here. So this is one that we're letting the hair down a little bit, but it's a good one though. But hey, so we've rebranded. This is the new logo. This is the new brand. The brand is, you want to be a most man. You do want to be a most man, because you're standing away from all the men out there that are doing the same stupid shit. So when you join the men's club, you are the most man for yourself. Okay? But when you join the men's club, we're leaving the most men alone out there. You don't want to be a most men. You want to be a most man. You stand alone. Okay? So we reached out on that one on the one before. Just thought we'd hit on it again. The rebrand is the rebrand. We'll keep going into it little by little, little by little, little by little. Little chunks. So, all right, man. So, what's up?
Well, I'm ready to talk about my bowling shirt. How about that?
Yeah, go for it.
Here's a most man thing. Wasn't ready to jump right in this, but I was a deer in the headlights there, so I got to say something, so I'll get it over with.
Yeah, go for it.
So about 30 years ago, the Dallas Morning News had a bowling tournament, so I signed up for this thing, and it was citywide. And I wound up making the cut. I think it was the top 48 by one pin for 3 games. By one pin. This wasn't handicapped or nothing. This is scratch, And it was, I had 3, maybe 4 opens, but all 4 of those opens, I got 9 pins. I threw 3 splits, and instead of trying to make the crazy-ass split, I made sure I got 9 pins, and I made that cut by 1 pin. If I'd have got greedy and tried to make any of those splits, I wouldn't have made the cut. But of course, you don't know this at the time. So my point was, I bowled the perfect 3 games I could bowl the hands that I was played, and then I wound up finishing. Then I made the top 48, and then it got 24, and I forget exactly. I got the article somewhere, but it was like 8th or 10th or something. But I actually cashed $200. I guess I was a professional bowler for a week. But we got these bowling shirts, says Dallas Morning News on the back. But my point being is, I wasn't anywhere near as good as those dudes. I bowled in leagues growing up, bowled in a bowling alley, when I was a kid, grew up in a bowling alley. But these guys were all better than me, and I knew they were better than me. But I had to do everything. I had to be perfect I didn't have no wiggle room. And I made that cut by one pin because I didn't try to get greedy. I didn't go for the gusto. And the point being is, if you do your best, then you're helping yourself. You're helping yourself.
Yeah.
So I hung on to this shirt. I wear it every once in a while when we go on golf trips with my buddies and I play like shit or something. I'll break it out. I'm going bowling. That's our running joke. I'm giving up on golf. We might as well just be in the bowling alley. Let's go bowling.
Well, what year was this?
It was about 30 years ago. Yeah, at least.
So the collar on that thing's got some 70s vibes going on or 80s vibes, right?
Yeah. It could be 35 years ago.
That's a Tony Montana kind of collar going on over there.
Would the Dallas Morning News get pissed if I showed the back of this thing?
Probably. They're a bunch of fucking lib asses over there.
Well, then we'll do it.
Oh. No, it's copyright.
Oh, don't do it.
Yeah. Fuck them assholes. Those are the assholes over there. It's okay to steal less than $600 and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
But so I was digging through what shirt to wear tonight, and then that shooting happened up there in Maine, and I saw my bowling shirt, and it was in a bowling alley, and I just thought, just in solidarity with the whole bowlers all across the country, to show a little support for people that got shot up in a bowling alley.
Yeah, no doubt, man. See, I haven't had time to keep up with that. But I knew something happened. Did it happen yesterday or today?
I think last night.
Was it? Yeah, it was last night. Yeah, it was last night. Yeah.
Oh, they still ain't caught the guy. He's on the run.
Yeah. Well, I was just I've been on the last couple weeks. I've been on the phone a lot.
I think it's 22 dead, 30 injured. So look all the people he encountered, and I never heard if anybody shot back or anything. So I guess if nobody has a gun and you're the only guy with a gun, you're going to kind of win for a while there.
That goes into our topic.
That's what happened in Israel. Nobody had a gun over there. Well, so when all the people showed up with guns, what do? I mean, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So the one take is, well, if nobody had a gun, this wouldn't happen, which is true. But at this point in the world, you can't take guns away from everybody. So
well, but the whole thing
always going to have a gun.
Okay, well that's a good point. I can pivot off that. So it's going to go back to hand-to-hand combat, is what it's going to go back to. If shit goes down, you're going to have to. You need. That's exactly what this is. The topic of this episode is. Okay. If a confrontation blows up in your face, what do you do? And in that scenario, we got into that on the last podcast. Okay? If a confrontation blows up in your face, what do you do? It depends on what the confrontation is.
There's a lot of variables in there.
Right.
Are you with your family? I mean, is this guy being irrational? Is it just some drunk idiot looking for a fight? Is it
a thief? Somebody robbing you?
Yeah. So
there's a lot of.
You got to do some thinking on the fly.
Okay. Well, that's okay. So let's just go to point one.
All right.
You have a guy. You're at a bar. The fuck you looking at, man? You want some? I'm tired of you looking at me and mugging me over there. What's up, man? It's fucking no. You ain't got nothing to prove to some drunk asshole and a bunch of drunk ass people in the bar. You're just another bar fight that happened.
You just say, man, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was glancing over there, man. I was just daydreaming.
Okay, but what if he doesn't have enough?
Well, I understand that. That's where.
Well, but what? Yeah,
but
okay.
you got to try to take the cheap, easy way out right off the bat.
Right, and I've been in these situations, and I'm sure you have too, where it's like, whoa, dude, like, what are we talking about here? Like, let's either de-escalate the situation, or what's the end game here? The end game, this most man moment, okay? You don't have anything to prove. Even if you're hitting on a girl, you're single and you're hitting on a girl, what good is that going to do if you get your ass whipped? You lose the girl, you lose the fight. Let's say you win the fight. Then all of a sudden you're a toxic man if it's the woman's situation. But what are you going to gain in a bar fight? You're just another drunk dude that got in a bar fight, right?
Well, hang on. Let's define this a little more. So you could be hitting on a girl and having no idea,
or a girl hitting on you.
Well, have no idea that that's her man. May not even be her man, but
he likes her, and
yeah, or some version of that. That they have a history, or they know each other,
or that's something. The one that he wants to hit on, and she just happens to like you more than him.
Yeah. So you're hitting on her, and she's not saying, well, no, I'm taken, or I'm seeing somebody, or, But if she's playing along and, oh, yeah, buy me a drink. That'll be great. Well, let's talk. And then the next thing, you got some psycho there that, you didn't even know you did anything wrong. So it might be hard to de-escalate that guy because he's seeing red, he's at it.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. Why would you want to fight that guy? He could be seeing red. He could have nothing to lose. He could be ready to go back to jail. Okay, he's seen enough of the world, and you just happen to be the guy that fucking pissed him off tonight, and he's either going to beat your ass and break a bottle over your head,
or die trying,
or right, or he's going to wait for you out in the parking lot, jump you, kill you, do whatever. Okay, but here's the thing, though. That's what I'm saying. You have nothing to prove, and you have it all to lose. Okay? What are you proving to anybody if you can whip this guy's ass? He's just out to he's either seen enough of the world, like I said, seen enough of the world, seeing red, all of that. What do you have? What are you going to gain by fighting that guy? He's willing to lose it all. He doesn't have nothing to live for.
Yeah, it's not like he's got you backed into a corner and you got and you got to go through him to get out of there. We covered it on the other podcast. There's more than one way out of a place normally.
Right. Okay. So
not through him is probably the way you ought to go.
Okay. So here's the scenario. Your best option is to just walk away or run. Right? That used to be the whole thing. Be the bigger man, walk away. And that's why. But here today, in today's laws and all the insanity that's happening in our fucking world right now, and let me tell you why I'm saying this, 'cause I've been through it. I have been through this firsthand. Okay? You don't want to fight the guy. You don't want to do anything. But all of a sudden you react to him. But the best, what we always used to say, the best thing is to walk away. Now it's run away. And you're not a coward for running away, because here's what you're running away from. You're running away from fucking problems, legal problems. Because let's just say that this guy comes at you and you have no choice but to protect yourself. Okay? And to protect yourself is to hit the points that can be hit: solar plexus, neck, head, face, whatever. Let's say you dispatch him, or dispatch or dismantle, whatever. You shut the dude down. He falls down face first or backwards, hits his head, cracks it on the concrete, doesn't wake up.
And
now
and the bar is full of his buddies. You don't know anybody in there. Or, now all of a sudden you got a bunch of witnesses saying you started the shit.
Exactly. And all of a sudden now you got a manslaughter case on your hands. You're going to jail for beating somebody and assault with deadly intent and all this stuff. When this guy, you're just like, hey, man,
The bartender's pissed because the guy's got a big old tab he never paid because he lives in the place.
Right,
He
but
ain't
what
gonna
I'm
get his
saying,
money.
what I'm saying is that you do what you got to do as a man to protect yourself or the people that you're with, wife, kids, okay, whatever, doesn't matter. This happened to me. This happened to me in a family restaurant parking lot in the morning before we went to church. Over a parking spot, this dude jumped out of his truck. What the fuck? I mean, this redneck Weatherford out here. You know, he's trying to show off in front of his family and kids, and I'm like, dude, there's a better fight for you down the road, man. And if you want to fight over a parking spot, then we can leave. I ain't fighting you over no fucking parking spot. I'll whoop your fucking ass. And I was like, man, I highly doubt it, but it's not worth the try. There's the juice the juice to squeeze out of this ain't worth it for me. Okay, so this based off what happened to me, I've explained it on other podcasts. My daughter's boyfriend hit me in the face with a pair of brass knuckles. I did nothing to the kid. He was a grown man. He was an adult. Of course, the court just threw it out because complete bullshit. But what I'm getting at is that I let him go, and then all of a sudden, I'm on deck for a. They went down there and lied. Him and my daughter went down there and lied and said that I beat him up, and his mom was evidently sleeping with some doctor or some dude that can write a doctor's note because she's an absolute whore, and everybody knows it. The whole city of Aledo knows it. So all of a sudden they get this note that he's got a broken nose. So they go down and lie, say I beat him up, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm on deck for something that I didn't even do. Now I'm completely free of it, didn't do anything. They threw it out of court. They thought it was just as much bullshit as I thought it was.
But it took a while to get to that.
2 years. 2 years. 2 years of living underneath a microscope. And your family, your whole family, I mean, people just like, oh, you low down, rotten son of a bitch. You beat up some young kid and blah, blah, blah. You didn't do none of that. But the point beyond this is that if I really did hit the kid, if I let's just say I whooped his ass that night, right? Let's say I whipped his ass, and we're on my driveway, and he fell down and busted his head on the concrete. We're on my property, but it doesn't matter. When people go out and lie on you, they can lie on you and do all this shit. Now, I'd have pressed charges that night. If that had happened, I would have pressed charges. They were begging me to press charges, and I didn't do it. So there's a better fight for him down the road. Somebody will take care of this problem for me. No big deal. Okay? So, but what I'm getting at is that if he would have busted his head or broke his leg or whatever, and it's all of a sudden it's assault with, especially if there's no witnesses. There was nobody out there. My other daughter saw what happened, and thank God she did. But what if nobody sees it? It's him against you. He jumped me out in the parking lot. No, I didn't. I was defending myself from you. Drunk ass that wanted to fucking fuck me up over nothing. So the best route. So if a confrontation flares up, okay. So in that situation, it's run.
The upside doesn't.
There is no upside.
It doesn't equate to what is as bad as the downside is.
Now, in junior high and high school, when you're fighting in the hallway and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, man, you kicked his ass," that's the time to fight.
That's more showing off for the girls.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah, we're peacocking for the girls. But after high school, fuck all that shit, man. There's no upside to fighting anybody, anywhere. Confrontation fight. Now, what if somebody's trying to rob you? You need to keep your good shit in your truck. You know what I mean? Be prepared to hand over what you got. Like, this is all I got. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, sure.
They're-
Like scalping a ticket at the NASCAR race or something. Some guys selling tickets, so you'd have, the ticket's like $100, right? But you don't want to pay $100. So you tell the guy, hey man, as soon as that race starts, that ticket ain't worth shit. Now it's easy to get into NASCAR races now because they screwed it all up. But back in the day, that the racetracks would actually sell out. So you'd have $60 in this pocket, $80 in this pocket, and $100 in this pocket. So when you got the guy talked down to, oh man, I need 70, man. I need 70, and you pull out the 60, man. All I got 60, man. Shit, all I got 60. But if you pull out the wad and you got 80, and then you get to peel one off,
he ain't.
No, man, you gotta go. Let me see what I got, man. I got 60, man. Well, you got 3 different denominations, and you know where they're all at, and works like a charm. Don't let anybody know what your true situation is.
But there's crazy people out there every day that they could be wanting to go back to prison to be a lot better off to go back to prison. They ain't got nothing to lose.
They're hungry. They need the meal.
Yeah, and you're just the guy that they rolled up on that day. And yeah, can you defend yourself? Yes. But this is coming from, and I am no Navy SEAL. I'm no Delta Force. I mean, you can tell right here. I mean, I'm decent shape, but this is coming from some of the baddest motherfuckers on our planet, like our SEALs, Delta Force, all these MMA guys and all that stuff. They know they can fuck anybody up at any time. And their answer all the time is get the fuck out of there. Get the fuck out of there. That's your best choice. Because I know for a fact I fought a lot when I was younger. I fought a lot, and I didn't lose very much either. But the next day, when you're younger, it's just like kind of you wear the black eye as a, patch of honor,
You should see the other guy.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But a couple days later, it's just like you're another dumbass that got in a bar fight over nothing. Like what's there to prove? When you're younger, you think there's something to prove. But the point is just there's so many. So we had okay, hold on 1 second. Before we get to that, okay, so if you're engaged by somebody or someone in a situation, whether it's 1 man, 2 man, 3 man, or even women, because women don't mind hitting people today. Have you seen all these fucking fights?
Well, they get after it.
Huh?
That's crazy.
Well, no, and the men and the women jump in this shit. So what I'm getting at is if you're engaged, like if you're engaged by somebody else, like these fights that are busting out at the sporting events. Have you seen the videos of these?
Hell, they go on in McDonald's lobbies, and there's no place they don't go on. And who knows what triggers them? The ketchup packet got stepped on and it squirted some ketchup
on somebody's shoes.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna beat your ass.
All hell breaks loose.
Right. So, but if you're engaged with something like that, what are the consequences and what are the benefits? What are the benefits and what are the consequences?
Well, it comes back down to what do people got to lose? If you're a homeowner and a family man with a family and a business owner and you got payments on vehicles and all kinds of stuff, they can throw the book at you because they know you can't go anywhere. Whatever they find you got to pay.
And they know that you'll pay the whole fucking shittery just to stay out of jail.
Yeah. But you got some guy, he's living in his buddy's garage, and his buddy wants him the hell out of there anyway. He's been there, oh, can I stay for a couple nights? He's been there for 2 months. The wife's up his ass. The guy doesn't have any food, can't even afford his own beer. It's like, good God, man. this guy's got to go, and he knows he's got to go. And next thing you're in a fight with this guy, and then the DA says, "Well, where do you live?" Well, I was living in my buddy's garage, but can you post bail? No. They don't want him sitting in their jail and just feeding this dude. They're going to figure out a way to get him the hell out of there. But you
got a revenue stream.
You got a revenue stream, and they know right where you live.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing about the law. And there's a lot of good judges out there and prosecutors and attorneys and all that. But let me tell you, it's just like the DWI law. It ain't about right or wrong. It's about revenue. Texas DWI laws are set up to soak society. Yeah, should you be out there fucking being hammered, drinking, and driving? No. But it's not about right or wrong. It's in anything. It's in anything that can require a fine, a speeding ticket, a DOT ticket, like what I used to have to put up with my concrete truck drivers. It ain't about right or wrong. It's about revenue. It's about revenue.
I remember, I'm old enough to remember in Texas before they had open container, and you'd literally be drinking with some old dude in a bar, and I'm not kidding. They had like 10 DWIs. 10. Yeah, the first one I got fined $250, and the second one they gouged me for $350. And, in today's money, that'd be like, $1,500, $2,000. But shit, what's it now? I mean, 20 grand?
No, more than that. Because
that's for like the first one.
Yeah, no.
The second one, you go to jail. The third one, you go to the penitentiary. They don't mess around with it anymore.
No.
Nor should they. Especially if they got to come and drag your car off of a pole or a tree. Yeah, you need a book thrown at you. There's no doubt about it. And then the drinking, it used to be 0.1, then they lowered it to 0.08. So you get somebody with a 0.08 and they never hit nothing or whatever, They throw the book at them the same as if you drove your car off a freaking cliff, because with a 0.04, or a 0.4. It's kind of weird. Now, I get it. You don't want people killing people. But if you get in a wreck and you're drunk, they should absolutely throw the frickin' book at you.
If it's your fault.
Well.
What if you have a couple of drinks and all of a sudden some dumbass is on their phone and hits you?
Yeah, there was one where a guy committed suicide, jumped off a bridge and landed on somebody's windshield on the freeway. They jumped off one of them high overpass deals.
Dallas?
Yeah, can you imagine just driving along and next thing you know, boom, and you're talking to the cops? And they're like, "Hey, have you been drinking?" Yeah, I was, right up till this guy rained down a frickin' fell on the hood of my car from 80 feet up.
Yeah.
I'm going to drink a lot more after that,
Yeah.
That don't drive you to drink. I don't know what would. That's some crazy
I think
shit.
I remember that happening. But then
there's been a few of those. There was one on the high 5 on 75. Then there was one on 35 in the bush. I think they talked that guy off. He had the whole freeway wadded up for about 4 hours. I was stuck in that traffic jam, but they talked him off of it. But yeah, that goes on. I mean, somebody jumps off a bridge, they got to land somewhere.
That happened when my dad had surgery on his foot. His roommate in the hospital room was that's what he did. He jumped off a bridge trying to kill himself, and then he even threw himself out of the hospital bed.
Last ditch effort.
Yeah,
on his head trying to.
Yeah, 3's a charm. We're on number 2. Yeah,
maybe he thought he was up higher than he was.
Yeah,
a 3-foot drop. I'm sorry for laughing at that, but that's you ain't keeping me from.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm
keeping
committed.
Me. Yeah, I'm committed to dying. Yeah, so. But my point is that it's not about right or wrong. It's about revenue. And if you're a revenue stream, well, I don't know if I should say this because I don't want to go down a rabbit hole that we can't return from. But our judicial system and our prison system are all intertwined to make a bunch of money. Because if you plead, that's the whole thing. That was the whole thing about this whole assault thing with me and the boyfriend. Is we told him, we were like, man, I ain't copping to shit because I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing but ask the kid to turn his lights off. That was it. And my attorneys were like, oh man, you don't want to do, you want to get a deal. I was like, I ain't taking no fucking deal. I will go to jail for the right reasons. I'm not copping to shit. I didn't do nothing. I'm standing by what I've got, and I'm not copping to nothing. But a lot of those guys, what they do, okay, so here's the whole thing. It's just like tickets. I'll use tickets as an example. The DOT is like 18-wheelers, big heavy-duty trucks. So you got the cops and you got DOT. Okay, but what I'm getting at is that those DOT tickets that we used to get when I was in the concrete business, dude, they'd put those tickets like $3,000 to $5,000 for these drivers because they knew that these drivers, they're making $15 an hour. They can't afford to pay that ticket. But if you just plead guilty, we'll reduce it to $1,000 and put you on a payment plan to where you don't lose your license. Because that's what would happen if they don't pay the fine, they lose their license, and that's their livelihood. But they knew that the company that employed him would pay that fine, knowing that he can't afford it. And if I don't pay it, I'm losing.
He's fired.
He's fired
because he don't have a license.
Right.
You can't drive your truck. Your insurance won't cover.
That's
him.
right.
Party's over.
Party's over. Now, I'm 36-0 on DO tickets. I'm 2-0 on regular car tickets. Because they don't have the money in the judicial system to fight those. Like, if you say, no, man, we're taking this to jury trial, that's kind of my trick. It's like, nah, man, if you want any money out of me,
we're going to talk all about it.
We're going to talk all about it. Let's go all the way. Every single one of them. Boink, boink, boink. James Mallory, the speeding ticket attorney in Fort Worth that made a name for himself for all those getting speeding tickets dismissed and all that. Deferred adjudication and all that. Deferred adjudication will cost you a couple $100 because they'd rather have the money, put you on deferred adjudication. If you don't get in trouble the next 6 months, we dismiss it. It's this. Okay, but what we're talking about here is that if you protect yourself and you fuck somebody up, the state of Texas, it's I don't know how all the other states work, but here's the whole thing about this whole thing about if you just plead guilty, we'll defer it.
All you got to do.
All you got to do.
Run from anybody who says all you got to do because there's always more.
Yeah.
It's never just that.
Right. All you got to do, or if you just plead guilty, we'll reduce the fine, put it on a payment plan.
We're doing you a favor here.
That's right. If you don't get in trouble, we'll wipe this off. We make our money. You get out of here. But as soon as you get in trouble again, you're fucked. Your fines go up. Then the new fines that come in, they're the full fines. And if you can't afford to pay it, that's why people are sitting in prison right now in jail. They're like, fuck this, I can't afford it. I'd rather just set it out.
Yeah, get so much a day or something off.
$50 a day.
$50.
But do you know that the state of Texas, this is what's fucked up about our judicial system, dude. Do you know that the state of Texas, on like just say a speeding ticket, the scale is different, okay? On what the
whether it's a school zone or a work zone or
well, no, just take a speeding ticket. Okay? If you plead guilty and you agree to do the deferred adjudication.
Yeah.
The state of Texas. Now, this was 7 years ago. Okay, they get $50 per guilty plea. The state of Texas. Think about how many speeding tickets are given out monthly. Okay, for every ticket that if you just plead guilty, that's $50 from the Fed to the state of Texas. All about guilty pleas. Same thing on the prison level. If you just plead guilty, we'll reduce your sentence from this to this, right? They get the states get paid on guilty pleas from the Fed. Just think about the whole prison system. It's nationwide. Now, where do they make their money? I don't know.
Yeah, I never heard the Fed pays the state.
The Fed pays the state. They pay the state per guilty plea. Per guilty plea. Now, like if it's a theft charge or something, maybe that's $500. Yes, if you just plead guilty, the Fed pays the state every guilty, because it's the presence is what it is. It's the presence of, what's Texas slogan? What's Texas's slogan for DWIs? It's
you got the click it or ticket. Don't mess with Texas.
Don't mess with Texas.
Or you can't afford it.
Yeah, Texas DWI. You can't afford it.
They make sure you can't afford it.
They make sure you can't afford it.
They
want you to get it, and that's why the limit's so low. Because how many guilty pleas are they going to get? But here's the thing, though, is the state's paying revenue back to the Fed off this whole system. How many people do you think how many speeding tickets in the state of Texas are given a day?
I need a whole lot more. Hell, you can't drive down the freeway without somebody passing you.
Okay, but COVID did change all that shit, though. Because I remember when I was dealing with all that, I was dealing with some constables and all that, and I was like, so what? They were like, man, we're not worried about taillights. It's because when COVID hit, they knew you would never get a seatbelt ticket again. You would never get a speeding ticket, a no blinker ticket, or running a red light. And you know why? After COVID, it's because they knew that people couldn't afford it. So all those tickets were taken off the map because people couldn't afford it. And they knew it. So they're losing battle. So why waste the cops' time if they can't collect any money on it?
Well, do you know in Germany, the speeding tickets are based on your ability to pay? Like I'm pretty sure it's Germany, the Autobahn or whatever. Somewhere there in Europe for damn sure. But if you're making a couple $100,000 a year and you're blowing down the road at 100 miles an hour, they know you got the money. We're back to the old, they know you got it. So if you're just some broke dick, then, but it kind of makes sense in a screwball way to where, they want to hurt the people the same way, like you got some millionaire and he's like, I don't give a flying crap about some $200 ticket. So he's driving, 1,000,000 miles an hour on the Autobahn in his freaking Lambo, So that's why, it used to, I don't know if it still is, but the Autobahn, it doesn't officially have a speed limit, but the speed limit is you have to drive safely at that speed, whatever that speed is. So if you're passing, if people are going 90 in the right lane and you're going 200 passing them, no, because if they move over, blow a tire, but if you're in the middle of nowhere and there's no other cars, I think you can go as fast as you want, or you used to be able to anyway.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how it was in Saudi Arabia. Now this is 20 years ago, or 23 years ago, 24 years ago, because I was over there in 99 before Y2K, but their rule of law over there back then, it's changed way different now. Like over there now, women can drive. They don't have to wear their their Gutra or their face cover and all that. Like shit's changing over there. But back then, it was a fucking free for all, dude. These people came straight from the desert to driving Lexuses, Mercedes, Cadillacs, fucking money running out of their ears, going, "What the fuck are we going to build with all this money?" But dude, over there in Saudi Arabia, like you know how here we got the highway divider.
Yeah.
Okay. Over there, you could be in the fast lane, which is the fast lane, but that's not the fast lane. The shoulder, what we call the shoulder here, there is the passing lane.
Okay.
They'll be that close to a wall doing 120 miles an hour and just like, boom. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? And their whole thing was, you hear them say it all the time, inshallah, inshallah, inshallah. Well, inshallah means God willing, right? Like, so if you just slaughter yourself on the highway, well, inshallah, you know, Allah willed it for me to fucking kill myself and everybody else around me, you know?
Couldn't be my fault.
Yeah, it's 150 fucking degrees outside, and you know you're doing 120 or 30, and your tire's low on pressure, and it boom, all of a sudden we're all dead. Yeah, but here, over there, they're just like, we'll just get them off the side of the road. Here, it's like, how much money can we make off this thing?
Yeah, everything's paying fines. Pay fine, pay a fine.
Probation, because they know that the fucking human world sucks. Shit happens in the human world. So when you fuck up on probation, you're kind of stuck. What? Now, we really don't want to send you to prison over this, but if
we have to, we will. So
what we're going to do, we're just going to up your fine, up your payments, and let's move on. And who wouldn't pay those payments?
That last road trip I just went on to Alabama and then to Georgia, all of those states down through there had signs like $1,000 fine for littering, $1,200 fine, because Paul even made some comment, you know, littering costs more here than it did over there. What's Texas, $200? I think it's $200 fine. $200 fine for littering. All these other states, it's $1,000. I bet you a lot of less people are throwing shit out windows, you know, looking at $1,000.
Well, they don't have Mexico sitting on their fucking border.
No. Gulf of Mexico, maybe. That's about it.
Well, I'm talking Mexico. These Mexicans, they litter more than anybody.
All right.
And Mexicans, okay, man, $200. Okay, here you go, man. No driver's license, no nothing, but here you go, man.
200, because they wouldn't get the 1,000, but they could get the 200.
Yeah, they can get the 200. Why not? Look at the population difference. Look at the population. Louisiana. Well, let me think about that.
Tyler, you got a take on any of this?
I'm a little lost here.
No, here's the only thing I can come up with is that there ain't as much trash on the road there than there is here. We got a lot of trash on our highway.
Yeah,
but we got prisoners to pick it all up though too. There again.
A lot of the driving we did was just in the middle of nowhere, so I don't know how much somebody had just rolled down the window and fire a bag of, you know, McDonald's wrappers out the window.
Well, it's because that precinct can't afford to go pick that shit up. So if you get caught, you're paying. Right? It's just like Willow Park, where we down the road here. That's a one stoplight town on the interstate. And they make their money on tickets, drug busts, all of that. That's where they make all their revenue to stay in.
Well, a lot of shit blows out of the back of pickup trucks. I'm real good at not putting light shit in the back of my pickup truck. Nothing pisses me off more where I'll be out with somebody or something, and I'll be driving along, and next thing in the back of I see something wing out of the bed of my truck. It's like, what the hell was that? Some knucklehead buddy of mine put something back there that I didn't know about.
Right, now it's your problem.
Yeah, there was no way in hell that was going to stay in there, and I didn't know it was in there. Oh hell, I didn't know. I didn't know. I figured a napkin would just lay there while we're going 70 miles an hour.
Yeah. No, well, in here,
genius.
Right. This happened to me on Sunday. I was coming out of HEB, and I thought about it before I left too, because I bought toilet paper and paper towels, like a big chunk of them. And I've got a bed liner in that truck, and I thought about it. I was like, man, you're putting this water way too close to the tailgate. I was like, nah, I've done this 10 times. Ain't going nowhere. Well, I got on the gas too hard. When I got home, there's 40 water bottles sitting in front of HEB right now, or somewhere. There's a lot of, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you don't have a tailgate on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck.
Hope you didn't want the water too bad.
Yeah, so we kind of got off track there, but yeah, so.
Yeah, don't litter. That's what we're trying to tell you.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, is that there's confrontations and just bullshit from bullshit people and stupid people, and we are not short of any stupid people out there. There's any confrontation, any situation to where there's somebody that can derail your fucking program. They will derail your program.
Yeah, you're trying to de-escalate it, and they're trying to escalate it.
Yeah.
No.
There's nothing in it for you.
That's not a good combination.
No, there's nothing in it for you. Just run.
Well, some of these TikTok challenges and shit you see, people just punching somebody in the subway station or something, just doing it to do it, Well, I was challenged on TikTok to punch a stranger. You don't even got to do anything to get punched, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
No, you don't. And these kids these days, that's what they're doing. They're doing all these little punk parades. And what they don't know is that the good punks and pranks were done 5 to 7 years ago, and they're trying to monetize and double down on what they did. Their punks and pranks that they did 5 to 7 years ago, and what they're trying to do now. The shit that they did 5 to 7 years ago was funny, and it was nobody got hurt. I mean, people might have got a little bit like, what are you thinking, man? But today, these kids today, they're trying to outdo that, and you can't do that.
Yeah, I remember Candid Camera when I was a kid. It kind of always made me uncomfortable, but that's kind of what it was supposed to do, where, they just tortured.
Candid Camera, America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah, they just tortured people with. But it was harmless stuff. Alan Funt, I think, was the guy's name that ran Candid Camera. Like, the elevator would open and there'd be 5 people on the elevator, but they'd all just be standing there facing backwards, The guy'd get on the elevator and, they got the camera on. I'm like, what in the hell is, he pushes the button and kind of looking over his shoulder. Why the hell everybody's facing the other direction in the elevator? That's harmless shit. Now this, like you're saying, this shit has escalated all the way up to like physical harm on people and stuff.
Man, I'm addicted to this one that shows up on YouTube all the time. The account is called My House is Dirty, and these guys, like, dude, they are wild. One of the things I'm like that's funniest is they go to Home Depot, like in the plant section, and they're playing with that little water wand, and they like accidentally turn it on and just blast the people with water. Like, it is hilarious. But I mean, dude, I would hate these guys if I ever met them in person.
No, and there's one. Well, there's several that I've watched on YouTube, of these kids in Home Depot or Lowe's, like to where they walk up to people and they'll put like a 5-gallon bucket over their head while they're looking at what they're looking at. And then they take off running, and they've normally got like a sweatshirt on or a hoodie or whatever.
Yeah.
And they rip it off, or they've got the hoodie with them. And when they take off running, they'll either take the hoodie off or put the hoodie on. And then they run a couple aisles over, and then all of a sudden, and it's normally some dude that could kick their ass, like, big time.
Yeah.
Like, there was one where he did this, we're talking about these pranks, like what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So there's this prank there's this little, I don't know, what are we even supposed to call them so we're not getting banned? I don't know, do we call them Orientals, or what do we call them? What's the political correct name for Asians?
Yeah, Orientals, a certain section of China, like the Orient. So Oriental's not, unless you're from the Orient, you're not an Oriental.
Okay, so it's Asian.
Yeah, go with that.
Okay, so there's an Asian guy, and he's sitting there looking at, like some of the fine trim on the wood, and this one guy, he grabs a sheet of, in the plywood section, you know how they have that foam, that 1-inch foam sheets,
Just
like
insulation.
Yeah, like 4-inch. They're like 4 foot by 8 foot, but they're foam sheets of insulation.
Yeah, yeah.
So this guy grabs like 2 or 3 sheets of those, and the guy's sitting there looking at what he's wanting to look at, and he just like slams this little guy in the back of the neck with all these foam sheets, like you didn't even see him there. He's like, I'm gonna lean these over here like you're not even standing there, and he pushes him into the shelf, and this little dude jumped out, and he's like, what the fuck is going on, man? And he noticed that he was being filmed, and dude, this guy went Jackie Chan on his fucking ass. He's like, you don't do that shit to me, man. Like that.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for this.
No, hell no. And he fucked him up. He's like, you might be one of these YouTubers. He said, but you're going to pay the price. He said, you fucking touched me first. And he did.
And if I was on the jury, I'd say, hey, man, what goes around comes around.
That's
on that
right,
deal.
dude. He sweeped his fucking feet out from underneath him, but that's the point.
He asked for it.
He asked for it, but here's the thing, though. But what if we sweeped his feet out from underneath him and the kid cracked his head on the concrete? Now where is he?
Yeah.
Now it's on film.
I'd still like to be on the jury with that one.
I would like to be on the jury too, but
I'd say
what if they're a bunch of fucking...
that falls under the shit happens category as far as I'm concerned.
Not self-defense. The dude
what I'm
started
thinking.
shit.
Yeah, you don't know what else he's coming with. Is that all he's stopping with? He hit him with that. What else is he going to hit him with?
But here's the thing, though, is when you have a bunch of libtards on the jury, depending on what state you're in, you got a bunch of libtards on the jury going, oh, man, that's a grown man. He was just playing a joke on him. So
Yeah.
what's your option? You know what I mean? Like, what are you dealing with here?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is it worth it just to take the foam sheets on the back and be like, man, fuck this, let's get out of here? Or do you whip the kid's ass? Well, let's ask Mike Tyson. Remember that kid, that drunk kid on that airplane that was talking all that shit to him and touching him in the back of his head and doing all that?
Yeah.
Told him to stop, and then all of a sudden Mike Tyson comes over the seat with the fucking boom, 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 boom. Tyson don't give a fuck. He doesn't come from those fucking rules. He's been to prison before. He's been to jail before. He ain't afraid of that shit. He'll fuck you up. But he was just minding his business. And all of a sudden, you're in an escalated situation to where you either got to do something or you got to, what do? What's the best thing to do? Especially with the times that we live in today. The shit that goes on today. Legally, wokely, all this shit that we live in. Is it better to What do you do? Stand your ground? Yeah. Well, in our days, we could do that, but today you can't do that.
Now everybody's got a lawyer.
No,
I mean, everybody sues everybody.
no, it's everybody's woke. Everybody's woke. What leg do you have? Say you beat the shit out of the kid that hit you in the back of the head with a.
With insulation.
Yeah. Or do you just say, hey, man, this ain't worth it? Let him get his laughs? But with the way the system is today and the way that we're so divided and all this stuff is so. You got a 50% chance of getting a bunch of lunatics that are like, this guy's just got a fucking temper and he can't control it. He can't take a fucking joke. Well,
Right.
I'm not at Lowe's to take a fucking joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let me smack your mother in the head with this shit and see how you like it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a grown man. You got your 60-year-old mother behind. Let me fucking shove her head into the fucking shelving at Lowe's or Home Depot. How do you respond?
Well, that's different. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
But it was different in our day. Our generation, you could be, all right, let's drop the groceries and let's see who fucking wins this thing, man.
You know, when you got home, your dad had beat your fucking ass on top of it after the guy beat your ass when he found out that you slammed him with some frickin' insulation and laughed about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. When you're confronted with a situation, you had no business in this confrontation whatsoever, and somebody brings it.
There needs to be some instant justice every once in a while to make people think twice about that
But it's not happening right now, Tim.
shit. Yeah, about 30 years ago, I had an apartment.
Depending on, well, here's the thing. Before you depending on what state.
That's
You're
probably got a lot to do with it.
Got a lot to do with it.
But I used to have a laundromat in my apartment complex, and I heard the story on the radio, so I could kind of relate to it. And I'm not sure what state this happened in, but there was a woman doing laundry, and this guy kept hitting on her, and she was declining his advances, so he kind of groped her. Well, she went back to her apartment and got her boyfriend and said, man, this dude's down here, playing grab ass with me and shit. And this guy went down there and beat the holy crap out of this guy. Of course, he got hauled off to jail and all of that. And the judge, that's where I got the instant justice comes from. He says, we don't really condone people beating the crap out of each other, but every once in a while, there needs to be some instant justice. So he let the guy off for defending this woman. Now they could say, well, she got groped and she went back to her apartment, so she was already safe. She was safe. She could have called the cops. Yeah, but this guy was going to make sure she didn't get groped again by this guy in the laundromat. Because if you don't confront the guy, or what are the cops going to say? Well, we didn't see anything. It's her word against his word, and just everybody play nice and go back to doing what you're doing. Well, then what happens the next week? She's down there doing laundry again. So he whipped out some instant justice on him, and the judge saw it that way.
Well, there's all those certain situations where that happens, but I'm just saying, man,
Yeah, you better be careful, because you don't know what judge, what jury, hell, you're a white male. You're already guilty in some people's eyes,
Right. Well, here's the thing that on what happened with me is that, thank God, common sense came into the situation. But my attorney, what he was telling me, that's why I'm saying on this, most man out there, if you're confronted with a situation that blows up in your face, you need to think about. Here's the thing. What's your exit strategy? How do you defend yourself? Or do you defend yourself, or do you just leave, or do you just run? Anything that you can't control, fucking run. If you can run. Right? Just run. because there's no point in defending yourself against some asshole that has nothing to lose. Nothing. Zero. And if it goes his way anyway, you're the one taking the fucking hit for it. Because here's what my attorney told me out of this whole thing. I was like, dude, why are you... I was getting kind of pissed that they were like, dude, we don't want to go to court on this. And I was like, bullshit, we're going to court. Like, this is... I'm not doing anything on... I'm going all the way or no way. You know what I mean? I didn't do shit. And I knew I didn't. And it was the point. It's principle. It's your you know, your personal integrity, right? But that's what they told me. They said, Mark, if they don't see it the way you want to see it, what you want is certainty. You want to be certain that this doesn't go anywhere from but here. No matter what you pay, no matter what it costs your ego, no matter any of that. You want certainty that this can't blow up in your face down the road. And that's when I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Certainty. I get it. Like on a DWI or whatever, you want certainty. You want to know that your fine is this much, right? For 36 months or whatever it is. That's certain that if you don't fuck up in 3 years or 2 years, whatever your period is, you're certain that if you don't do things in that time frame, you're good. That's the certainty. And that's how it works.
But what if you were on probation when this incident happened out of nowhere? Where's your certainty? Because now your certainty just got turned on its head. Your certainty wasn't so certain all of a sudden.
Well, depends. You got to. It's got to go to court.
Then you got to fight that one tooth and nail.
Right. So that's the moment right there. Don't let your certainty get in the way. Because if certainty is all we got, I don't like it.
Yeah, why are casinos all packed? There's the most uncertain shit in the face of the earth goes on in casinos. They're packed. Don't lose more than you can afford. If you don't have certainty, don't lose more than you can afford.
Okay, but no, the whole thing is that the certainty, the only certainty you got is not getting yourself in the situation. That goes back to going to the casino, going to the titty bar, going to the bar,
driving home drunk,
all those things reduces that certainty.
You're hanging yourself out there and asking for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell, you got to watch out in Home Depot. You might get hit in the back of the head with some insulation.
Yeah.
The world's just a royal crapshoot. Yeah, and all of this TikTok phone shit and YouTube and all of that. Everybody's got their 5 minutes of fame or stupidity or whatever they want to call it, and you might get drug into their drama.
Yeah, because you're not letting the foam get on you. Or whatever, or some drunk ass dude that you know you can take. Right? You know you can take him. But why take him? Let him go start some shit with somebody else. Get the fuck out of there.
This big old dude I used to work with, Dave G, the key man there, I won't say his last name, but he is a big guy from Gainesville, Texas, worked in the oil fields and such. He hated going to bars because the littlest dude always tried to start shit with him. Always. He's like, oh, dear God. I mean, he could just pick these fuckers up and throw them, but they just, they get enough beers in them and, they're going to prove to their girlfriend or their buddy, I'm going to go, yeah, that dude ain't shit. He's like, he was the nicest guy. Still is. I talk to him every once in a great while, but he's like, oh, dear God, here we go again. Why do I got to have this little fucker feeling his oats and bowing up because I'm the biggest idiot in here? So He always hated going to bars because they were like magnets. Somebody just so like a guy your size don't start shit with you. Why is a little guy start shit with the biggest guy? The Napoleon syndrome
No,
or
it's
something.
it's little man syndrome. Yeah, they got it.
And John Wayne used to run into that. Oh, that's John Wayne over there? Well, I'm going to go kick his ass because I can say I punched John Wayne, you know?
Yeah. Nah.
Good grief. The
Yeah.
world's full of them.
It's full of idiots, and that's the point. That's the most man moment out of all this. This world is full of idiots. Don't waste your time on the world's ignorance. Don't.
And when you wake up in the morning, you spin the roulette wheel of, are cool people going to randomly come into your life today? Or are idiots going to come into your life today? Or is nobody going to come into your life today? But every morning, you're spinning the wheel and taking your chance. If you're going out in public, you know, you get what you get because you can't control it.
No, that's why I'm just as I am as polite to everybody as I can be. I used to be the guy that argued. I did. I like a good argument. But now, today, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. That'll get your ass kicked by some people.
Well, by the
You know,
fucking feminists out there. Hey, feminists.
Jesus.
Yeah. Y'all shit is coming to an end. I can guarantee you. There's a very big movement in the younger generation. We are tired of y'all shit. We don't want no more of it. Y'all can live it up while you got it, because it's over. Okay? So, but no, it's just it's not worth it's just not worth it. It's not worth anything in your life to put up with some dumbass or asshole or whatever. Just let
Especially a stranger you never saw before, and in 5 minutes you're never going to see him again.
Exactly, because here's the thing. Go to the homeless shelter and see if that shit ain't getting settled there. They settle shit quickly. Those people ain't got nothing to lose, and they will settle that shit. And typically you're dealing with somebody that can't afford it anyway, and that's why they're doing what they're doing. No, somebody will handle that stuff for them or for you. So,
Or karma.
oh yeah. No, there's always a fight down the road where somebody's going to handle that for you. Don't even worry about it. Yeah, so confrontations.
And if they're capable of starting some shit out of nowhere, and it was a one-time thing.
They ain't got nothing to lose.
Well, no, it was a one-time thing, and they woke up the next day going, why in the hell was I such a douchebag, man? Thank God I didn't get in with that dude. Then that's perfect, because that's what you would. Well, that's what you would want is like, okay, the dude fucked up. He knows he fucked up, even though you wouldn't know this. I'm glad he realized he was wrong, and he's cool.
Right.
But if he's like, I should have punched that fucker. Well, the day is coming. He's going to punch some fucker, and then he's going to get his own. He's going to punch the wrong guy.
Yeah, he's going to punch the wrong guy. And there's always a better fight down the road. Let them take it. Okay? So, that is the message, is confrontations and all the bullshit in the world. Just fucking. What's that windshield wiper? Rain away?
Rain-X?
Rain-X. Rain-X. Right here.
Idiot-X.
Yeah. Idiot-X.
Idiot-X.
We need to come up with.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Idiot-X.
Idiot-X. Spray it down. Take a bath in it. Probably get sued by Rain-X, but what can you know.
Come on, Rain-X.
Actually, it's promote, it's like, hey, this shit works.
Yeah.
That's the point of it.
Idiot-X. All right. So, confrontations, out. Positivity, not out. In. All right. So, you got anything else you want to say?
No, I think the Idiot-X, just pretend you got Idiot-X on you. Go on down the road.
Yeah. Most men use Idiot-X. That's going on a shirt. All right.
All right.
Like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartMedia, themostmen.com, info at themostmen.com, Rumble. We're on Rumble. Get your man card, get your man kit. Coming soon. So, thank you, everybody. See you soon.